Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Let's talk about the future of Model Y. How many units will Tesla sell, and how awesome will it be? Are you ready? Let's go! This video was motivated by a few conversations I've had, particularly with Gary Black and Troy Teslike, two notable players in the Tesla Twitter community who say a lot of important things are followed by a lot of people. And both of them and many others seem to think there's sort of an upper limit on the number of vehicles that Model Y can sell. Troy Teslike in a conversation today saying he didn't think it could sell much more than 1.6 million because Toyota Corolla is the best-selling vehicle in the world and only sells about 1.1 million. I believe Corolla peaked at 1.5 million, but that misses the point. The point is that Corolla is not materially different from Honda Civic or other small sedans. Tesla Model Y is dramatically different from any other vehicle in that class of internal combustion engine SUVs. It's just dramatically different. There's no way around it. It is so much better than the comparable vehicles that it can sell a lot more. So let me show you the top selling SUVs in the world from 2021. You can see here that RAV4 sold over 1 million vehicles, so that's pretty substantial. Honda CR-V sold 783,000. Tiguan sold 575,000. When you add all these up, these are just the top 9 selling SUVs in the world. You get 4.9 million. My contention is that the Model Y can replace all of them. And there's a lot more. In the article, if you look at this article again, it says Tesla Model Y enters the leaderboard with 344,000 units sold, rising 179 spots. There's at least 179 other SUVs out there. To get over 1.6 million, the Model Y only needs 1/3 of a share of the top 9. There's probably more like 6, 7, 8 million of these SUVs sold a year worldwide. And it's better than all of them. It's not a close call. This is like when you go back to the age of flip phones and you introduce the iPhone. And they only had one model. So they couldn't sell that many, right? And Apple has never really had a huge proliferation of models of iPhone. They have a fairly restricted number of iPhones, and they sell like crazy volumes, far more than anybody in the flip phone era would have predicted. That's what Model Y is. Model Y is radically different. There's another key point I want to get to. The Model Y that we know today is about to be radically improved at Giga Texas and then Giga Berlin. Number one, they're making them with front and rear castings instead of just rear castings, which makes it less expensive to produce, probably able to produce it in higher volumes, and probably a little bit lighter weight. But the big change is going to start in Texas, is going to filter over to Giga Berlin, is when they start using 4680 cells in a structural pack. The structural pack in particular lowers the weight of the vehicle dramatically, really dramatically. So it's probably going to drop around 500 pounds. The limiting factor channel, Jordan Giesecke and I both came up with our own calculations. We both came up with a drop of about 500 pounds of weight. That's going to make the vehicle much lighter. It's going to increase range. It's going to improve performance. It may mean they can use less batteries to get the same range. A huge, huge change in what's coming with Model Y. So the vehicle that has already arguably the best vehicle in the world, according to Dan Neal, the Wall Street Journal, already at least arguably the best vehicle in the world, will drop 500 pounds, improve its acceleration, improve its range, and be less expensive to make in the long run. It's a compelling vehicle. First of all, the desire of the customer to buy this vehicle. You're shopping around for an SUV and you're looking at a Lexus RX and you're looking at a Highlander and you're looking whatever ICE SUV you're looking at. If you compare it to the Model Y, the Model Y stands out head and shoulders above it. A large percentage of the population, once they drive a Tesla, once they experience a Tesla, I can't drive an internal combustion engine vehicle anymore. It's so frustrating. So the space for Model Y to grow is much, much larger than what the largest selling internal combustion engine vehicle sold. Until there's a huge supply of other electric vehicles that are competitive with Model Y, because even the other EV SUVs that are out there are not truly competitive with Model Y. The Mach-E is not really that competitive with Model Y, and they can't make enough Mach-Es. So number one, you'd have to make a vehicle that's genuinely competitive with Model Y, which no one has. There's so many advantages Tesla has over the other EVs. And number two, no one is making them in volume. So as Tesla scales up volume of the Model Y, they're taking market share from everybody. Everybody. They're not just, it's not just replacing the Corolla as the number one selling vehicle. It's not just replacing the RAV4 as the number one selling SUV. It's cutting into everyone's sales. There's 5 million sold a year just in the top 9 vehicles in the world. There's a lot of room for Model Y to sell a lot more than 1.6 million. What do you think? Do you think there's some sort of cap on how many vehicles Model Y can sell worldwide? Let me know in the comments below. One other thing to talk about for the near-term future of Model Y is they're going to start producing 4680 structural pack Model Ys in Giga Texas in the first quarter of 2022, as in very soon, the next couple of months. So will they be producing Model Y long range at a Giga Texas with structural pack? Will they be producing Model Y performance? I think it's going to be a completely different vehicle. I've had a bunch of conversations with friends. I think it has to be that they will do like a ludicrous Model Y that will be significantly higher performance and longer range than the Model Y performance and the Model Y long range. And you can see here $60,000. I think this is really more like $64,000. So I figure you're probably looking at $75,000 for a ludicrous Model Y. That's the first one that comes out. Eventually they will come down in price. They will offer different versions, but the initial Model Y structural pack 4680 Model Y coming out of Giga Texas, I'm predicting will be like a $75,000 or $80,000 vehicle that will have better range, better performance, etc. Because you can't get around the lower weight. If it weighs less, it's going to accelerate better. If it weighs less, it's going to have more range. So it would be significantly different from the Model Y long range coming out of Fremont or Shanghai. And I don't know how you get around that. Some of my friends think they would software limit the range and acceleration of that Model Y. I still think you would notice a different feel. The theory is that Giga Texas Model Ys are supposed to serve the East Coast and Fremont Model Ys are supposed to serve the West Coast. And I think that is how it will go in the long run because they'll eventually shift Fremont Model Y over to front and rear castings and structural pack. But in the short run, when they have a limited volume of Model Ys from Giga Texas to sell, they might as well sell them for more money. Why would you? I would pay $80,000 for a structural pack 4680 Model Y. A lot of people who are into Tesla would, if it's going to get me more performance, if it's going to, I don't really care about the performance that much, but I don't mind it. If it's going to get me more range in particular, I want it. And if it's a better vehicle overall, there's so many reasons why I would rather have that vehicle. So they can charge more for it. And when it's in low volumes, it's easy to charge more for it. Once they ramp up the volumes, then they can introduce other variations of that structural pack Model Y. So what do you think about that? How do you think they're going to sell Model Y initially coming out of Giga Texas? And then later when Giga Berlin goes to 4680 structural pack, how are they going to do it there? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please check out my other videos. Please check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. Support this channel on Patreon or on the Locals platform or as a YouTube channel member. Links to all of that in the description below. And thank you so much for watching.